Hey, 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 welcome everybody. Welcome to the Raw Side. How is everybody doing? I hope everybody's having a great Thursday. Let's see who we've got. Let's see who we've got. Hi, 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 everybody. Hi, Faith. Hi, Michael. Hi, stay tuned. Wonderful, wonderful. Let's see who I'm missing. I know I'm missing somebody. There's Boo. Hi, Jeff. And of course, Miss Fantastique. She is our special guest for tonight, the fabulous Fantastique. And there's Cassie. Hi, Cassie. How are you? I'm just listening, driving, but I can't be in the chat. That's okay. I'm so glad everybody popped in. Great, great, great. So let's introduce the Miss Fabulous Fantastique and welcome. Hi, Kaza. How are you? Hi, hi. How you doing, Sarah? Can she hear us? I hope she can hear us. Oh, it did not connect. Oh my goodness. Let's see what happened there. They will need to reconnect their mic before they can add them. It says you have to reconnect your mic, doll. Let's see what's happening there. Click it again and let's see what's going on. How's everybody doing tonight? Oh, we've just had some really like wild and crazy weather here. Of course, I should be used to it. In our neck of the woods, it's spring in the morning and winter in the afternoon. So I don't know. Oh, wait, there she is.
Can you
Are
hear me
we
now?
working now?
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
There she is.
It wouldn't be me without technical issues, would it?
You gotta love technology. I know. It never works when you want it to.
No, it doesn't.
Well, I appreciate you coming in and hanging out with us. So,
Jeff's singing Pink Floyd to me.
oh, lovely, lovely. So, does he have a wonderful voice? I don't.
I don't know. He's typing it, but I know he's.
We should get him on here to perform. Why not? I like putting him on the spot, right?
Yeah, let's do that.
He'll be like, "No, God, no!" Gotta
He's so
watch
glad
what
he
you
made
say.
it.
Oh my goodness. Geez, well, I actually, if we can talk about a lot of things, but actually, I'd like to talk about your experience as far as, hi, Joe. Wonderful. Welcome.
Hey,
Um,
Joe.
as far as your experience and knowledge on editing, and because you are just like the queen of making these wonderful clips and little videos. I just love them. As far as editing, I am just like total newbie to that. And there's a lot of things that I hear when I'm watching like the debunkers and like the terminology that they're using. And so if they could be explained to the general public, so that because I don't know what you guys are looking for when you're in these videos or you're looking at the videos, but you guys spot it and it's like dead on. And then when you point it out, then we catch on to what you're talking about.
The thing with me with the actual debunking side, I don't spot half the stuff these guys spot. Some you could have fishing wire dangling in front of the camera, and I won't notice it till a debunker says, "No, it's fishing wire." And I'm like, yeah, how did I miss that? But
Right.
but my history, the way I do the analysis, um, my history is with film analysis. That's what I did at university. It's what I taught. Actually watching film and TV and analyzing it that way. So I tend to spot things in terms of how it's edited or how the framing is um, on the screen, rather than having the ability to look at. I mean, sometimes I'll spot the stuff the other debunkers do, but I tend to look at it in a different way to everybody else. So um, it's why I like Joe Vitale's video so much, and I did a channel spotlight on Joe because I can see from a filmmaker point of view how Joe actually does his investigations, rather, because he's so open about it. But with
Right.
the fakers, there's one or two channels, for example, that use a lot of dark, very dark areas, and as soon as I see that, I think you're hiding something. Do you
Right,
know what I
right, because
mean?
we can't see. We can't see
Yeah,
what it is.
if you've got high black and white contrast, the alarm bells go off instantly because I think you're doing that on purpose so that you're only focusing the camera on what you want people to see.
Right.
So
Um,
that's how I look at it.
so yeah, yeah, Just Right, he says purple is really good at showing video editing and techniques. I can't get a
Yeah,
hold of purple.
Purple's the one that's closest to me in terms of he's got far more technical experience than I've got. But I
Right,
hear Purple's pick out things like framing and how a shot's been set up, and you can tell where the actual shadow figure or whatever's going to be. So Purple's probably the closest to the way I look at it
right.
than any of the
Yeah,
others. Mr. Grey a
he's
little bit as well.
he's brilliant. He is purple. It's just amazing. Uh, he's like on fast forward all the time, and it's just amazing on what he does. I'm just totally blown away by him. Um,
Mm,
he really is an amazing person.
100
Um,
miles an hour.
yes, yes, he's just a ball of energy, and it's wonderful. And like you said, what he knows, it blows you away. It really does.
Well, he's got the industry experience on the technical side that
Oh
just
yeah,
outdoes everybody really on that one. Um, but mine's more from watching the films. I've had a lot of experience editing, but I've also got a lot of experience in um, photograph and art editing. So it's actually a natural progression. But if you give me a film camera, because I do want to go out filming at some point, I've got to learn to hold it the right way up.
right.
And it's
I can.
interesting because the other day I heard Parple say the same thing, whereas he doesn't want to actually do any filming. He'll do any editing you want him to,
See, I'm
but
the
he's not.
opposite.
So, because I mean, where I live, live very rural. I live very historic. I could go to probably about 50 different places and do some filming and investigation, but the footage would probably come back looking like a potato camera every time. So
Well,
I
I
need to
learned that when
practice
I
first.
right. It is a learning experience. I remember the first time that I was filming with with an up to date camera because I used to just do all still shots and stuff. And when you're doing video, you just got to remember, I was like moving all around. It was like I had everybody on like a speed ride. And I says, and everybody sees any of this, they're going to get sick. I said, because I'm just moving too fast.
Yeah,
You just, you got to remember to just slow it down and do like natural movements. Actually, Joe, if you'd like to join, I'll send you a link. Because he could explain that too, the use of cameras, because he's got so much experience. But I just like what I said, the editing. My editing is like I know how to cut something to make it shorter.
yeah.
But as far as the rest of it, forget it. So I always say if I'm gonna put anything out there, you guys are gonna get how I filmed it, and that's it. Until I learn how to do all of the extra things that you should do.
Yeah, but I don't think you need anything more than if you're doing an investigation. Don't think it matters. I'm putting all the hoops and whistles in because I'm doing commentary and stuff like that. But
Right.
I would imagine if I do end up going out filming, I won't be putting all those hoops and whistles in when I release that sort of stuff because I want it to be as clean as possible. So I don't think it matters. Um,
Maybe. Just like, or 'cause like I said, you still have, you have the education on filming and stuff, like masking, and I've heard the term feathering and stuff like that. What does that actually mean?
um, well, I know that more from. I'm still learning that in the editing process, but I know see because I've used Photoshop for years. It's basically the same techniques. It's just that instead of a still image, it's a moving image. So if you're masking something, you're basically blocking something out that you don't want people to see and only showing one part of it. So when you get the fakers masking something, they're hiding something they don't want you to know. But you're not supposed to be able to tell when you watch the video. Um, it's usually small things they mask, like I don't know, there might be a hand in shot, or they might have moved something wrong. There's one that I'm trying to think who did it. I've just seen it recently. I was doing a channel spotlight on Beardo, And this is it, and it was an old video of, I think it was Mindseed, where there was some balls on the floor, and they appeared to move on their own, but he spotted that they'd actually covered one up, to
Oh,
pretend that they'd done. And yeah, so it's the trouble with being a debunker and looking at masking is it could be a number of things. Yes, it could be a mask. It could also be artifacting. So, the camera's not quite working properly, so it looks a bit juddery. It might just be the way it's being filmed. Um, so, but spotting that sort of thing, me looking at it, if I was doing any debunk or reaction, I don't think I'd have the confidence to say that's a mask, or unless it was really obvious, or that's the way that some of them do, that they can sort of spot it. I don't necessarily spot it that much. Like I say, with me, it's more about the way it's been filmed and how they've framed it and how they're editing it as well, because there's one or two channels. The Blair Witch where they have, and they used, I don't know if they did it on American TV shows. I don't know if there's any Brits in the chat, but the one that often gets spoken about is Most Haunted, and they constantly walked around looking into the camera, and back then I used to get so frustrated. I'm thinking, I don't want to see your face, I want to see what's going on around you. But
right.
it's a technique that they use so that you can't see what's going on around them. And there's several channels that do that, so have a look at that. There are several channels that will constantly, you know have the camera pointing towards themselves so much of the time rather than
Right.
around the room. It's a dead giveaway.
Yeah, that would make sense. Because yeah, when I'm filming, I don't put the camera on myself. I always figure you guys have already seen what I look like. You're not you're not here to look at me. You're here to look at what's going on.
Well,
So
way
I
back when I was watching stuff like that, like Most Haunted, I mean, it's what Blair Witch do, the camera on the face all the time. But when I was watching Most Haunted, I wasn't thinking about it being fake, because we're going back to the 90s here. I wasn't thinking about it being fake, but I just remember thinking all the time, why do I have to constantly be looking at you? I want to see what's going on in the room. I want to see if anything's happening. Of course, with hindsight, I know why they did it. They did it because they didn't want to see all the tricks and
right.
shenanigans that were going on.
I see. Well, yeah, that would make sense. Because at the moment when you're watching, you're thinking, okay, they're just filming themselves so you could see the fear, maybe that they are
Yeah, yeah,
experiencing.
It's that Blair Witch had a lot to do with that as well. It's
Right.
that reaction shot. Well, if they're looking scared, so I've got to be scared, so they must be in danger.
Right. So see, there's all kinds of tricks of the trade that we just don't know anything about. I guess it's just all gonna be just a big learning experience. Would it attracted you to connecting your techniques to the paranormal field?
In what way?
Well, as far as what you're creating for, like, all of the little shorts and stuff that you're creating for like Crow and Joe and all of that. How did you connect to? Is it just your one passion is the paranormal, just another passion?
Well, I've always been passionate about the paranormal, so it's not that I actually thought about doing a paranormal channel, but I've always been, even as a kid, I just was obsessed, and not just with ghosts, with everything. I mean, my interests are like, UFOs, cryptids, urban legends, that sort of thing.
Right.
And the channel did start as an art channel, but I'd been part of the debunking community for a year. And when Crow first called me out, it was for the art. Um, but I don't know. I think what I've had also done in the past for a long time is I used to produce, I don't know if you know the term, I used to produce a lot of fanzines, so fan magazines on various subjects. And I really miss doing that, but that's kind of died because people don't want paper products anymore.
Pretty much, yeah.
And so um the thing with me is, although I'm new to doing a paranormal channel, I've been watching paranormal content for a long time, and I've been part of the debunking community for over a year. So I can kind of look back. I kind of understand it because I've been watching it for so long. It's not like I've come in new and thought, oh, I like these paranormal channels, I think I'll do one. Um, I have been watching for a long time, so I mean, I'm a natural nerd and I'm a natural fangirl, so, and I'm used to turning that into commentary. It's why my channel's more commentary than anything else. I mean, I've got
Right.
all sorts of things I do want to do, because I'm not somebody who wants to um, do the same thing all the time. Uh, I always have bright ideas, but I want to do live streams. I want to do podcasts, and I want to extend the content as well to other things. But no, I've just always loved the paranormal. I do say it just happened, and it was, the channel probably would still be on 6 subscribers if Crow hadn't called me out. But when he called me out, I thought, well, I've had a shout out. It's daft to waste it, and it just kind of developed from there, really.
Yeah, yeah, might as well go for it, right? I always figure just jump in with both feet, you know?
Yeah,
And
because it was going to be I had planned on it being my winter project, but I think I've said in a vlog I probably would have got distracted and not done it. But I just felt like I'd had that kickstart from Crow, so um, run with it. So
oh, 'cause everybody
uh,
loves what you do. They just do. It's that's I always think to myself when I make it up something, well, gee, hopefully someday I'll get as good as you are at making these things. Like I said, it's a learning thing. I'm getting there little by little, trying to learn how everything works. But that's what I wanted to pick your brain about how, like, what kind of editing tools do you use? Um,
at the moment, because I mean I do have editing. I do have a Mac computer which is broken at the moment. I need to fix it. So I am actually using at the moment just the free Microsoft Clipchamp. I'm
oh,
not using anything fancy. Um, I have. I am going to progress on to DaVinci at some point, but the thing with me, Laura, is I know I look as though I know what I'm doing, but when I get used to the same program for years and years and years, and suddenly somebody says, "Oh, well, you use this program," and yeah, but I'm used to doing it my way. So honestly, it's all being done in Clipchamp at the moment, which is a easy program to use. Um, I mean, there's something. The only reason I'm going to try DaVinci is because there's one or two things I can't do in it. But that's actually not for the channel. That's for I'm planning on doing some animation, and I want to do some music videos. Proper one using the art.
right.
So I need better software. But for the channel itself, at the moment, Clipchamp's sort of working fine.
Oh, yeah, it's awesome.
So the thing with anything, but the thing with anything when people sort of say, oh well, about editing, is a basic program. If you just need clean editing, I mean, I've used basic programs for years. When I haven't had access to anything better, and I've used things like, I don't know if Clipchamp's probably the new version, but Microsoft used to have a basic one, and Mac has a iMovie, and it's basically just putting clips together and putting transitions in. But at the end of the day, it's the best way to learn. I know some people say you shouldn't do that because then you've got to relearn later, but I think you've just got to get confidence in your editing first before you try anything
Well, yeah,
too
pretty much getting the
difficult.
basics down is pretty much how you should
Yeah.
start.
You don't want to be worrying about the pro. I mean, I was watching. It was a couple of weeks ago. Joe was doing a. When he's done an investigation, he starts putting all this footage together. He does it online for members only, and he'd got the whatever. I think it was Da Vinci actually. I don't know if Joe's still in the chat. He can tell me. Yeah. But and I'm looking at this screen that he's got his computer screens up and all these layers of video, and I'm just it was doing my head in. I thought, I don't know, that would just blow my mind having to use that sort of complicated a program. So yeah, I think it depends what you need to use it for. But if you're just going out for an investigation and just want to, edit your clips together, you don't need all the hoops and whistles.
Right. Yeah, because everybody's putting in here what their choice is. It's all different.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah,
Resolve.
Joe said that's what he uses.
Yeah,
So, yeah, that's the thing, I was going through a bunch of them, just trying to figure out what would be easier for me to begin to learn, but give me what I want, you know, to use
yeah,
and to put in, because there's so many of them.
yeah. There is.
And it's that's what it is. You just gotta pick through. I've been through like 3 of them. So it's just trying to figure out which one works best for me and, just take it from there. Excuse me. Yeah, it's well, because I find it very interesting, like I said, when you, like when Joe is doing his and he does put it out there, with the members only, you see the editing process.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just it is, it takes so long, way too much time to get but if you want it to come out good, you gotta, dedicate the time to it. Um, as far as your process of how you put things together, what is your process?
Um, I'm pretty quick for the most part. Uh, Occasionally something will take me longer than I've planned. Um, the last one that took me way longer than I planned, I did a crow radio that was alien based, and there was so many different sound elements to it. It's because there was a lot of layers, it wasn't just clipping clips together.
Right,
And at the moment, I'm doing a video that covers, Joe and Cassie and Seg and everybody at the Conjuring House, and incorporating in Crow's 6-hour live stream. So that one's taken me time, but that's
right,
actually partly taken me time because I'm adding a load of little extras in it, like little extra art and music and things. So just depends how much content is going in there, really. But it's like I've put a vlog up tonight. It's only a short vlog, but I literally sat in the car after I'd been to the supermarket to record the voice, threw a picture over it, and it's together in 5 minutes. So I think that's the trick with me. It's one of the reasons I do the vlogs, if I'm honest, because I can keep the content coming out
right,
by putting a vlog out, 2 or 3 vlogs out a week. So when I have got videos that are taking me a long time to edit, I don't want the channel sitting there with nothing new coming up.
right. Oh, that's well, the same thing here. I haven't been putting any videos out because I haven't had any time because the weather's been bad here. Um, and so I can't really get out and do any investigations, and I'm gonna do it when it's like below 0 outside. So hopefully I'm hoping this weekend I've got something planned. I'm hoping it follows through so that I can put out a video on that. I just have to keep my fingers crossed because we got hit with snow yesterday again. We went from grass to snow, so it's can't make up its mind around here.
Actually, I've got to get out soon because I do have plans for a video, and I need to go out when it's dark. And as the nights get lighter, I need to get out before they get too light. But I've been waiting because of the weather.
I think everybody
Because
has.
yeah, because where I need to go is like, I mean, it's the middle of nowhere, and it's sort of single track roads. So if it's icy, it's no good. But oh, thank you, Joe. Um, but yeah, because what I actually want to do is I want to go out in the dark because there's a location about 8 miles from me, overlooking our range of hills, and I used to go up there all the time because I'm saying I can't film, but I am a photographer. And I used to go up there and shoot sunsets and shoot the night sky. And I want to film. It's not so much about filming; it's about the sound because I think I watch so many of these channels that go out in the middle of the night, and every single sound is a demon. And I think, oh, you're playing on it, you city boys, because anybody who lives rural will know how noisy the countryside is at night. All the animals and birds of prey and nocturnal creatures. So I actually want to go out and capture some of that just to prove a point.
Well, there you go. So yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, the weather holds you up, and because the place that I'm gonna try to attempt to do this coming weekend, I was supposed to do a couple weekends ago, and we got hit with a cold snap, and it was like -2, and then with the wind chill, it was like 10 below, and I'm like, oh no,
No,
everything will freeze up, including me, and it wasn't worth it. And of course, the
no,
place I was going to had no heat, no electricity, so I passed on that.
it's See, we have that here because like I say, there's loads of different locations I could go to, and there's loads of locations that you wouldn't have to pay to get in because we have a lot of things like ruins and stuff. But again, you've got to be prepared for the elements because you're going to have the wind and rain, and you know, and you got to stay safe because if you're out there too long, and you know,
Right, like
um,
frostbite or something.
uh, yeah, I mean, it can get pretty. I mean, if you're sensible about it, it's fine. And I was grew up here, so I know what to do. But at the same time, uh, it can get dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. If you're
Right.
going too far out. So uh, plus you've got the problem with we're so rural. You've got to be careful that you're not somewhere that you haven't got a phone signal because that can happen here. If
Oh, yes. Same
and I
here.
don't want to be stuck anywhere that I can't get in touch with anybody if the car breaks down or if there's a problem. So
Right, right. Well, see, like I said, we were worrying about the cold, and now this weekend, of course, it's spring. The bears are waking up, and where I'm going, there's bears, and I'm gonna be on my own.
I know we don't have bears here.
So I'm gonna have to, hopefully don't end up, a snack for Yogi. So I just got to keep my fingers crossed, I guess. But I mean, it's nice because I can get into this place anytime I want. That's the nice part about it. But this time around, yeah, I'm going to be by myself. So it's going to be, looking out for bears and, trying to film at the same time. Of course, I don't know if you guys want to see a bear attack on film. So- but it
No,
would
we don't
probably be
have problems with the animals.
yeah, the last one I know you're gonna oh, well, up to where I'm going, yeah, you have bears, deer, turkey, all kinds of stuff. And,
I mean,
it's like
I've got enough contacts that I can actually get into places. People have already started offering, and they look at me funny when I say, "Can you wait until I've learned how to use a camera?"
no. Well, yes, because you figure because with your background, you at least know, how to use the camera. You should be an ace at it, you would think, but
You would think, but I
you
can
would
promise
think.
you, I've tried. Yeah, and my problem is I'm so picky about. I'd be so picky about the footage. Nothing would get released because I would want it to look good. Does that make sense?
No,
So
no, I understand, yeah, because 'cause I'm a little bit anal about that too. If it doesn't come
yeah,
out right, then I won't show it.
so yeah, it's and I really do, especially if it's connections that have offered me to go into places. I really don't want to be wasting that and saying, "Can I come again?" Because the footage was awful.
Right, right, right. Well, that's the blessing about where I'm going. I know the people, and it's the house is only open for visitors in the summertime,
Mm,
and they shut it down in the winter months. So that's why, like I said, it was like 10 below, and I wasn't that it froze. So now that everything's thawed out, I'm gonna sneak in there before they start getting it ready for the summer season and see what I can get. It's a great old house, and I've tried several times to get in. And you guys have heard me, and everything has always gone wrong. And this time, I don't care if I have to sit there for 2, 3 days. I'm determined to get this done,
mm.
and then to give try to edit some of it. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see how that turns out.
It's just getting used to it, Laura. Do you know what I mean? And like I say, just I think once you find the program that you're comfortable with, you will just get used to the more you do it.
So yeah, that's what it is. I'm just gonna because I thought to myself, why bother with the editing? Just shoot it raw footage, just stick it out there, and everybody can just look at it as is. But I mean, when you've got like hours, like with Joe and the Conjuring house, and Cassie, it's hours of footage. You're not gonna put hours of footage out on a live or on just a video for people to watch.
See what we used to do when I had students. One of the things we used to do, but it wouldn't work for a paranormal investigation because there would be no point. But we used to actually start them off by editing on camera. So literally the whole thing could just be dumped. Do you know what I mean? They'd have to plan it out and just hit the stop button or the pause button and then go to the next shot. But of course, on a paranormal investigation, besides law, wouldn't it? That'd be the bit where something would happen if you
You're
didn't have
right.
your
That's
camera running. Yeah.
yeah, it would shut down, or you shut it down, and then that's when the stuff starts going on.
But say if you're doing some introductory shots, to show a location before you actually start the investigation, you could actually try that. Just try a bit of on-camera editing. So instead of just sort of walking around with the camera for ages that you've got to edit it down, just say, right, I've got that bit. Stop the camera. It would bring down your footage a little bit, so you're not got hours and hours of footage and B-roll and things.
Right. Right. Yeah, because that's what I planned on it was doing. It was just go through, take my, the B-roll shots, and then just hit the record and go from there. But and like it'd be easier if I had somebody who was going to be with me, but so I could just have two separate things going on. But it's just going to be just be me and a camera and hopefully some quick sneakers so that like I said, I have to keep the eye up for the bears. So
Yeah, I'm
it's
pleased I haven't got that problem. Yeah,
oh yeah,
actually, JD badgers, yeah, they are bad. I don't think I've ever seen a badger in the wild. The
I
foxes
know I
can get a bit snippy.
yeah, well we have a little bit of everything here. Because it's the Adirondack Mountains. So you've got the
Mm,
bears. Every now and then we get a moose. Comes down from Canada. But yeah, we've got there's mountain lion and you got wolves and bobcats and all kinds of stuff like that. It just depends on what part of the mountains that you're on. And so because and we're still trying to get a bald eagle shots because we have groups of bald eagle that hang out up there.
mm.
And so that's what I'm trying to get some shots of them. Uh, you always catch them flying over, but I can never catch them where there's certain spots where they'll sit in a group,
Yeah.
and you can get some really nice shots. You just got to be at the right time.
Well, any wildlife like that. I mean, I don't do wildlife photography, but I know people who do, and they will literally sit for hours and hours and hours sometimes just to try and get the shot. Do you know what I mean?
Right? Yeah, I can't do that. But of course, if I just sit out on the deck where I'm staying, they'll just walk by.
Yeah, that's what you
Um,
need. So you stay for the right place, sit there comfortable, and then
right. Well, yeah, because where I'm staying, you could just sit out on the deck, and you'll never know what's going to be walking by.
yeah.
Because it's up on a lake, and so yeah, we get all kinds of different creatures that come walking by, including the bears. It's so yeah, you just gotta always keep one eye behind you. Because it's funny. Like usually when I would sit out where I stay, there's like a patio and it's half enclosed, and I would usually bring my dog. And so the dog can let me know if a bear's coming around the corner where I can't see it. So like she sounds the alarm so like we can run inside. Um, of course, I'm not gonna take her this trip. So
Would
yeah, you never
she?
know what you're gonna run into.
Would the dog be able to cope with the bear though?
I think so because she goes after everything.
All right.
Um, she's a German Shepherd,
All
so
right.
anything that comes through our property, it really amazes me because she's just a big old love bug.
Mm,
Once she knows you, she'll just love you to death. But if it's something that doesn't belong here or she doesn't know it, she puffs all up and turns into this savage animal. I remember the first time I seen it, I was like, "What the heck is this?" And she's only done it for one person, uh, which is also very scary. It was we were at campgrounds, and there was this guy who was a Boy Scout troop leader,
mm,
and she hated his guts. She would puff up and show her teeth, and I'm thinking, "What is it with this guy?"
mm.
And he was determined to touch her, and I said, "No, you can't touch her. You see what she's doing."
Yeah.
I said, "She obviously doesn't like you, and I'm not gonna be responsible. So you need to back away." So I don't know what it was about that guy because he had long hair. I don't know, maybe because it was the hair or maybe the cologne he was wearing. I don't know. But yeah, she didn't like him at all. So as far as a bear goes, yeah, because she goes bananas when she sees duck, squirrels. You know, so if a bear showed up, I think, yeah, she would freak out and go after it.
Yeah.
Uh, so like I said, it's like an alarm bell. Because when we go camping and stuff, we like to go in the woods. We're in the
Mm,
backwoods, and it's, campfire cooking and that kind of thing. Very rustic. So she's pretty much our bear alarm.
yeah.
So they don't sneak up on us. So
Well, I
that's
don't
pretty
need a bear alarm, so I'm okay.
so sometimes she just doesn't shut up either. And that's why I know that I talked before about how I had some activity going on in my house again because she likes to sleep. We have a blanket and stuff on the couch. She likes to sleep on the couch.
Mm,
And at nighttime, sometimes you'd hear her start barking and, just raising a ruckus and then come running back into the kitchen and she'd be shaking in fear
mm.
and then turn around and bark again back towards the living room. So something's going on in there. And, I've never investigated my own house because I think that's very bad to do because I don't want to stir up more than what's already been here for years. But just like Crow had gave me an idea, just don't do an investigation, but just leave a camera running, pointing in that direction and see what I catch.
Yeah. Would you
Or
want
even
to
just
know though?
I don't know. I don't really think it bothers me. It doesn't because as the kids were growing up, they've seen things in the house. We've heard things. I've heard things call my name. So I don't know. But for to scare the dog that way, I don't know.
Because I mean, I've had loads of experiences, but I don't think I'd actually want in my house to have a camera. Even if I'd seen things, and before I moved back home, I did live in a flat that was very haunted, and it was at one time I saw a shadow figure. But even though I'd sort of seen and experienced things in there, I don't think I would have wanted to leave a camera up and just know the full, see things I hadn't already seen, if that makes sense.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
anywhere else, fine. If I do go out doing an investigation, I caught something, which I know would be highly unlikely. But if I did, it wouldn't bother me because I didn't live there at the end of the day. I could go home.
Well, the one EVP that I did catch was in my attic. I
Yeah.
had left the tape recorder up there running, and you hear a man's voice say, "Get out."
Mm.
I'm like, "Okay." Shut it off and, took it out of there. And, the usual footsteps and stuff like that, but nothing that would be harmful or malicious. My niece, when she was little, she saw a shadow figure in the kitchen doorway. So they could be what the dog is seeing,
Yeah.
or she's hearing something in the attic because most of the activity is in the attic. So I pretty much just leave it. I just leave it alone.
Yeah. Best way to do it.
So if I did record something, I think the curiosity just to see, okay, what is upsetting the dog. But then, of course, then my husband couldn't find out about it because he said he'd move. So because I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about it. It's
Actually, it's funny because the one I was talking about, that when I was living in the flat, um, I wasn't living. It was in York, which is a fair way away from me, but I only had a little flat because I was working on weekends. I don't know how I'd have felt about it if it was my flat and I owned it and stuff, and I was there like 7 days a week. Do you know what I mean? I was only there during the week. So the
right.
thought of being there permanently, I don't think I would have liked it if I literally had to be there all the time.
Yeah. Well, because I pretty much just if it's nothing harmful, you just pretty much ignore it. I mean,
Well,
that's
that's
pretty
what I
much how I
did.
handle it. Yeah, you just say, okay, whatever. I don't
Um,
think much of it. I'd worry about if you're getting scratched or pulled out of your bed at night. Then okay, I'd pack up and leave. But uh, Then, of course, then we'd do an investigation because I wouldn't be living there anymore.
Yeah,
But,
move out and then investigate it.
and
That's
then
the way to do
investigate
it.
it. That's and then I can go back home. But, yeah, as far as anything else, it's just I feel like if something does happen, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, okay." I do recognize it mentally, but I don't say it verbally, and I
Yeah.
think maybe that's what it is because I don't acknowledge any of it. So that maybe that's the best thing to go about it, like I said, because it hasn't really harmed anybody or caused any kind of problems.
Oh, I just
Just
used
like
to ignore it. Yeah.
yeah, just ignore it, and 'cause like I said, if we do talk about it, my husband leaves the room, so he doesn't want nothing to do with any of it, and that's why it cracks me up because he does usually take me to when I'm going on investigations or, I do a lot of cemetery work, so, yeah, he gets a little nervous, and I'm thinking, you gotta worry you need to worry more about the living than the dead. That pretty much is how I look at it.
You see, that's what I find more scary when you see people do abandoned houses or investigations in what are clearly dodgy areas. I'd be more worried about humans going to places like that
Yeah,
than than anything else. It's like, I mean, I suppose most of the locations I'd be going to if I was doing any here, middle of nowhere, there's going to be nobody around, and
right.
or highly unlikely, apart from maybe a farmer wondering what I was doing.
Right, you get more grief from him saying, "Get off the land," or whatever, but
But people who do, even if it's not ghost investigations, even if it's just urban exploration, I don't know how they've got the nerve sometimes. And there's a number of people I've seen that have gone into an abandoned building and they're sort of kind of not really supposed to be there. I'd be on edge thinking, "Oh, is a security guard going to turn up at any minute?" And
right,
I don't mind
right.
people doing it, but I couldn't do it. I'd be on edge thinking, "Oh, I'm going to get caught. I'm a coward."
Well, that's yeah, because 'cause we've been to some place I'm thinking, "Oh, great, the police are gonna show up." Then you're explaining what you're doing, and then they're looking at you like you're insane. So, yeah, you just gotta roll with it, and usually they're pretty good, as long as you're proving that you're not vandalizing anything,
Yeah, yeah,
um, and as long as nothing's posted, because around here, a lot of stuff is posted, and, so you can't go on the property, but, if you ask, permission, a lot of times they let you do it. Unless the building is too, in bad condition, then they'll say, "Well, no," because then it's a liability for them.
yeah,
So that's yeah, then they won't let you do it. But, usually we luck out, and we've got a lot of old stuff around here, and so it's just the point of getting in it and getting it filmed,
yeah.
and I'll go in
Yeah, we've
day or
got
night, I don't.
well, the other thing I think we'd have around here, not in huge amounts of locations, we are rural, but you if you was close to a village or there were people living nearby, I know some of them around here would be like, "What you doing?" and "Why are you here in the middle of the night?" And I don't blame them really, because if I lived there and somebody was wandering around in the middle of the night and clearly, because they're the sort of villagers that they all know each other, so strangers
Right.
in there in the middle of the night, they're going to get antsy and probably call the police.
Oh, exactly.
Um, so yeah, but no, the paranormal wouldn't bother me. Like you say, humans would bother me.
Yeah. Well, that's what my grandmother always said, never she goes, "Never fear the dead, it's the living you have to worry about." So,
Yeah.
I've always just gone by that, and a lot of people goes, "Well, how can you go in a cemetery at night?" It really doesn't bother me. I'm more worried about the critters and, the police catching me than than anything else chasing me down.
Actually, to be
So,
honest, cemeteries don't bother me at night.
no, they don't bother me at all. Well, when we were kids, we all used that's the where everybody would hang out. They'd,
Mm.
grab the beers and go run up and and drink in the
Oh yeah,
cemetery
yeah.
because you wouldn't
Been
get
there.
caught there.
No, no, that wouldn't bother me at all.
But, yeah, it's, I don't know, you're gonna like I said, you're gonna run into 'em like raccoons and, gophers and stuff like that at night or, bats,
Oh yeah, we get a lot of bats around here. Yeah.
other kids in there, partying and stuff like that, but as far as anything else, I don't worry about it.
Actually, the location I was talking about that I'm going to go up and do the filming for the sounds at night. When you stand there, the bats. There's a small forest behind me, well, woods behind me,
Mhm.
And the bats seem to come out of the woods and just dive bomb your head just as they're
Oh,
sort of
yeah?
going down into the valley. They don't hurt you, but they literally get sort of, within a few centimeters of your head as they're sort of flying down. So you're wondering what's going on, and suddenly realize that they're going down to the fields.
Oh, yeah, because they're going after your hair most like and the noise.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what's attractive. So, yeah, when we do that, I always kinda wear, like, a hoodie. 'Cause I got a lot of curly hair, and I don't want it getting caught in my hair.
Yeah, Jaya, yeah, villagers have pitchforks around here
Pitchforks. I
too.
just saw that. Oh, torches.
If Hi, creepy doll, if you've seen Hot Fuzz, I actually call a lot of our villagers the greater good villagers. Where they're sort of really obsessive about protecting the village. Yeah, you don't want to mess with them.
Oh, no. They're worse than the police.
Oh, way worse, way
Ah,
worse. Do you know we have an island just off the coast, about 20 miles north of here. And it's called Holy Island.
I
Um, and it's got
think
an
I've
old
heard of that.
castle on. Yeah, it's the end of the St Cuthbert Way. It's got a castle on there, and it's got a priory on there. And um, when the tide's out, you can drive across to it, but um, then when the tide comes in, it's completely an island. And it's about 6 hours you can cross, and then the next 6 hours it will be completely waterlogged. And a friend of mine was selling at a festival on the island a few years ago, and she said, and that really is a greater good village. I mean, they really weird on that island, a lot of them, and obsessive. And she said she'd gone into the pub at night for a drink when after the event, and one of the locals actually said to her, because the tide was in, so for 6 hours, and they said, you realise that if we could do anything, and nobody would be able to get rescue you for 6 hours because of the tide. I mean, they
Right.
telling her seriously, because they didn't like their island being invaded by all these camper vans, etc. But yeah, so yeah, I'd be more worried about villagers around here than, and like Jay said, villagers with pitchforks. Yeah.
Yeah. I can picture all of that.
Yeah, well, the
There's like
villagers
a
wouldn't have shotguns, but the farmers would, because I am aware of that as well. So it's not like, I know we don't have many in the UK, but yeah, Jay, have a good description. The We don't have them many in the UK, but the farmers do. So you may be looking down a shotgun barrel if a farmer didn't like you.
Yeah, I've had that happen to me once. That's more scary than the paranormal.
Oh yeah.
When you have a shotgun in your face.
The other thing we
Yep.
have around here, which you have to be careful of, is we have a lot of military. So you have to know which bits you can and can't go into,
Right.
because some of it's protected for the Air Force and the Army. And usually there's signs up, but I mean, I know where they are, but you could imagine. I have heard stories of people who've sort of wandered in innocently and have taken time to be let out again because they've been checked for security, etc.
Yeah, yeah. We have a spot up here. I think you guys have probably heard me talk about it when I was describing it to Crow, and I forgot what else I was telling about. There's a spot. It's called Star Hill. And actually, I'm going to go up there this summer, hopefully, and film that because there's an unexplainable light that appears in the middle of the road at nighttime. Excuse me. But if you go further up the hill and you turn down this road, it's military.
Yeah,
And a lot of people don't know that. And it just tells you, don't go up that road. But some people do. And then you've got these guys in camouflage and rifles coming out of the bushes
yeah,
surrounding the vehicle. So I mean, that's a shocker. I believe they have something to do with NASA or something like that up on that hill. So that's because I was trying to figure out. uh, the light, because nobody's gotten it on film, but we've seen it. I've seen it myself several times.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out there's no way to fake this ball of light. So we're trying to figure out if it's something that the military is doing or something else is going on. Because I'd love to be able to figure it out.
Mm.
I mean, if it was like a beam of light coming from like the farmhouse that's across the field, you would see the beam of light.
Mm.
But this is just a ball of light in the middle of the road and moves up and down the road and does change color. So that's why I'm trying to figure out is it a spirit from the story of what happened up there, or is it something that the
Yeah.
military's doing at night? And this has been going on for years, so I don't know. Hopefully, I'm not like letting out some kind of secret and they're going to come knocking on my door. But if I don't show up next week, you know what happened. So,
Yeah. Men in Black have come to get you.
right. Just all of a sudden, I just gone. So, but everybody knows the legend and seen, have been to see the light. So there's something going on there. But yeah, that would be a little scary. Of course, I always tell my husband that the way he talks on the computer, when he gets on a rant on certain things, I'm thinking that's great. I says these guys are going to show up at the door, you're just going to disappear. Uh, let's see. This is the Adirondacks. It's an Air Force installation, I believe. We have several actually in this area, Mike. But that one I do believe has something to do, with the NASA, and it's way up. Actually, if I have to look, I don't even know if it would show up if you looked it up online. It's in the Remsen, New York area, and now you are allowed to drive down, go up the hill on that road, but you can only go so far, and then you have to turn around and come back down. And the guys don't jump out of out of the woods anymore. But so because I don't know how active it is, but it's still there. So that's why I'm wondering if it's something that they're doing, with the ball of light. But then again, if it was coming from their direction, because it's all woods, you would still see a beam of light. The
Yeah.
ball just doesn't show up. There has to be a source. So if it's fake, then that's what I'm trying to figure out. And like back in the day, when we used to go up there and hang out and wait for it, we didn't have video cameras or cell phones. But now that we do, let's see what happens. Maybe I can catch something. So
It's difficult though, isn't it?
it is.
In
Because
terms of capturing things.
and it doesn't always show up. That's the thing. So you could sit there till 3 o'clock in the morning and get nothing. And then other times you're up there and people say, "Oh yeah, it's been showing up like every night." Or
The
um,
thing is on that, because I can't remember who I was talking to, but um, this isn't paranormal. This is natural. But where I live, we do get the Northern Lights. We get them quite a bit, and it's a bugbear of mine because I have never seen them. I grew up here,
oh, really?
lived here for years, and I have never seen the bloody things. Right. And trust
Wow.
me, I have tried. I mean, I've had the Aurora alert on my phone, and I wake up in the morning and on Facebook, people are going, "Oh, did you see the Northern Lights last night?" I'm like, "No." Um, I just want to get out there with my camera, and so I just want to see them. And
Yeah.
and and although I mean we're 3 miles from the coast, and most of the time they're seen off the coast, but they do appear above my town, and people will say, "Oh, did you see the Northern Lights last night?" I'm like, "No." And even something that's a natural phenomenon like that and happens all the time, it can
Right.
still be blind luck actually seeing it.
Oh yeah. I
So and
saw them once as a child, because my father is very into astronomy and all of that. So
mm,
we got to see them when I was a child. But ever since then, even my husband and we drove one night. They were supposed to appear 60 miles from our house to get where we could be high up. Nothing. There was nothing. He saw nothing. He was so mad because he's never seen them either.
no, and it is an annoyance of mine. I think the only chance you would actually have to guarantee to see them here is if you literally lived right on the coast and your house was facing out towards the sea, because that's the most where they're seen is across the water.
Right.
But yeah, they do, and people in the time, did you see them last night? No. Mind you, here you also got the problem of, especially inland, you've got the problem of if it's cloudy, you're not going to see them anyway. So, but
Exactly.
I've never seen them, and I have tried. I have tried multiple times, and I have spent so many times up in the hills and doing night sky photography, and nothing,
So that
nothing.
would be awesome to catch.
I just
Like
want to
my
see them, even if I didn't catch them.
yeah.
I just want to be able to say that I've seen the Northern Lights.
Yeah, it is, well, because it was really strange when like I said, I was a kid, and it was we lived in the city, and I saw them right in my backyard, so that was really,
Yeah,
it was amazing because it was like, how often are you gonna be able to catch that, being in the city area, and here now we're further out, and we drive out to the country and can't even see them. So
yeah,
and, like, it's the same problem here, almost every time something big happens, it's overcast, like, "Oh, there's gonna be a meteor shower." It's overcast here. Or, like the devil's, comet that went by.
yeah.
Missed it, overcast. So everybody's making a big deal about, "Oh, you're gonna be, looking for the eclipse." I go, "I'm not even gonna bother." It's gonna be overcast.
Oh yeah, things like meteor showers, you can guarantee we're going to have cloud. It's almost
It's
like it plans it,
yeah,
you know,
it's like goes hand in hand.
or
My
blood
son
moons or whatever else it's going to be. You can guarantee that you're really going to be lucky. You're thinking, well, it depends on the weather as to whether we're going to see that. We had a partial eclipse about 5 years ago, and you could only just see it because there was cloud cover. It was just enough to be able to actually see it, but um, no, it's yeah, you've got the weather conditions as well that sort of
it's awful. Well,
impact on that.
it's changed a lot since I was younger because I remember I used to be able to, lay out in the grass and look up and the whole sky was just clear and filled in stars. And now as, I get older, I've noticed just more cloud coverage than we used to have. The storms aren't as intense as they used to be. Like, thunder and lightning storms. I mean, it used to just like, the thunder would, rattle the house and lots of lightning. Now it's there's nothing. It's just really changed a lot. So it's, whether it's stuff that we're doing as the human race to the planet, or it's just the natural evolution of the planet doing
Yeah.
it on its own. Um, it pretty much is
I
how I
think
look
we
at
have
it.
more here now. I think we have more here now.
Oh, do you see now
But
ours isn't as much?
yeah, we've had some really bad. I'm not saying all the time, but we've had some doozies. I'm trying to remember. It was about 2 years ago, I think. We had it was called Storm Arwen. Don't know if any of the Brits in the chat remember it. And I know it was all over the country, I think, but here, um, it was. And I mean, I don't mean gale, gusts. I mean constant wind speeds of over 90 miles an hour.
Oh, wow.
And I think the highest recorded wind gust was about 140. By the way, we're in a very flat region apart from the hills, so there's a lot of there's a lot of land for the wind to pick up speed. But
Right.
it was awful, really, because we had ancient trees come down, and that literally hundreds of years old. And it was. I mean, I grew up here, and we used to having really strong winds here. That's not unusual. And
Right.
we're used to having, say, on a really bad storm, wind gusts of 70 or 80 miles an hour. That does happen as well. But I remember it was just this constant howl for about 12 hours of 90-mile-an-hour winds, just minimum 90 miles an hour. It's like this roar overhead. And I mean, we were without power for about 4 days. Some people were without power for 2 weeks because it
Oh,
just took time.
wow.
Yeah. So instances like that, and in a region I grew up in. I mean, I'm in my 50s, so and I'm speaking to everybody who sort of had lived here all the time. None of us could remember anything that intense,
Yeah.
you know. So I think I say we don't get them on a regular basis, but when we get a big storm, we get it far worse than I can remember in my lifetime.
Yeah, see, you know how that's strange is the changes, different ends of the world, and we never know. We then we'll get like storms like that with a lot of wind. The other day we had that, made a big mess of the yard. But as far as just good old fashioned, because I used to love a good thunder and lightning storm, and I would actually just sit right in the doorway and watch it. So it's been a disappointment the older I get because they're not as intense as they used to be. And same thing with the snow. We had a really mild winter, and then just the other day, we got dumped over 12 inches of snow. Some places got 15, and that's the most snow we've had all winter.
Mm.
So that's changing as well. I mean, I know one year it's going to swing around and we're going to get nailed really bad and be buried up to our eyeballs. But right now we're going to take what we got because I don't like the winter at all.
Winter's funny here because we've had an awful winter in terms of the cold and the rain and everything. We haven't had a lot of snow, touch wood, this time. But at the same time, because we're a very heavy tourist area, I mean, the chunk of my income relies on the tourists, so I shouldn't be complaining, but it's nice to not have them around for a few months. So I really like the winters for it being quiet and not having to go out, and it's why I managed to set up the YouTube channel at this time of year, because I'm in the house more.
Right.
So it's nice and quiet. So there's certain places around here I won't touch in the summer because they're just heaving, especially along the coast. I won't go near them unless I have to. I know plenty of places I can go where nobody knows where they are, but it's just nice in the winter to. It's a double-edged sword, really, because yeah, you've got the awful weather, but at the same time, you've got a nice, peaceful
Right. Yeah, that's what it
existence.
is.
Mike is strange, sitting on the porch in a thunderstorm.
Yeah, we used to do that too. Yeah.
Oh my god! Do you know I loved thunderstorms as a kid, and then when I was 19, I spent the summer in Washington D.C. and I've hated them ever since because it's so
Really?
humid there. Yeah, because it's so humid there in the summer.
Right.
So every 3 or 4 days, well, certainly when I was there, I mean, we're going back in the mid-80s, when I was there, every 3 or 4 days, you'd get these massive thunderstorms, louder than anything I'd ever come across in my life. Um, and ever since then, I really haven't liked thunderstorms. And I would be sitting
Oh.
outside watching them as a kid, but now I can't do it now.
So, I used to get yelled at all the time because I used to go out and run around in the grass barefoot. And I get in here. So, not thinking, well, gee, maybe I'll get hit by lightning. But I was just, you're kids, you want to run around in the rain. And that was always the best. You run around barefoot in the grass in the rain.
Yeah,
So
no,
it's
not if it's
nah,
thundering.
I don't do that. Just I'll watch the other ones do it now.
That's the other problem going out here. Sort of, if you're going out to film or whatever, is if you're up in certain areas, there's no cover, so there's not a huge amount of forest here. It tends to be in clumps, and I have seen people walk into the Cheviots, which is our local range of hills, when there's a thunderstorm coming over, and I'm thinking, you're mad. Turn around, because there is literally no trees up there. They are bare hills. What are you going to
Right,
do if the lightning starts? You're right on
right,
the
because
top of these hills.
they're the highest thing there, so that's where it's gonna hit.
Oh, you're going to be the first one to be hit.
They weren't carrying umbrellas, were they?
No, but they must have something metallic on them, because there's no metal around there. So it's going to be the first thing that
Oh,
gets
oh
aimed
yeah,
at.
oh yeah.
You know.
Well, I figured that the pine trees are higher than I am, so I was pretty safe. I was,
There's no trees up there
yeah,
at
you know,
all.
you can't turn around and you won't see a pine tree around here, so they're everywhere. Which I love because I love trees and, always looking for the perfect pine tree. So there's, it's, We have all kinds
No,
of different ones, but it's mostly we have mostly pine trees, especially when you're
no,
going up on the mountain.
we've got the trees, but they're lower down. On the top of the hills. They're not there probably because they can't grow because the wind would be so ferocious up there. Everything
Oh,
would get flattened. So there's nothing that grows up there other than grass. Um, but yeah, no, I've seen it. I've seen them walking in the direction of the hills and thinking, "You're mad."
well,
But,
it's pretty. I don't know if you guys, it's pretty wet there because there's a lot of like when you watch like the Ouija Brothers and like that last one that they did, and they got stuck in the fields because it was so muddy.
yeah.
And I used to watch this other channel. Oh geez, they lived on a longboat and they were on the canals, and I was like, does it ever dry up there? The ground is always wet.
Actually, what happens here is on the west side of the country they get far more rain than we do on the east. Because there's hills going down the middle of the country which stop the rain coming because the rain comes from the west.
Uh-huh.
Um, so uh, I mean, don't get me wrong, we do get rain, but we don't get anything like the west side do, which I think is where the Ouija brothers are, because I think they're Birmingham or something. So if they're going locally, they're going to get more rain than we do. Um, so I'm giving it away really because if I moan about it raining, people will probably say to me now, "Well, you live on the east, you don't get as much." But I have to say, when I'm in chat on Crow's page, it's a bit of a buzzkill because I want to go on and complain about the weather, and I've got people saying, "Oh, we've got 12 inches of snow here, or we've got tornadoes coming, or we've got,"
Right.
and I
Right.
think, well, I can't go on there and say it's raining.
It's raining here. We're wet. Yeah, but you guys get rain. I mean, it just seems like it's always just soaking wet.
No,
Uh,
not
yeah.
where I am.
So that's what everybody. I always hear that growing up. If you move to England, because I always wanted to live in England, and you'd hear people say, "Well, then don't plan on seeing the sun ever again." I said, you got to have some kind of sunshine over there.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I mean, I'm really far north, so we do get the cold and the wind and everything, but unless you're really unlucky in the winter, one of the things I do like, well, especially when I used to do a lot of photography, is I actually don't mind it being cold if we've got a nice bright winter where the sun's shining. I can cope if the sun's shining, so it's a nice part of the county so long as you sort of wrap up. But I actually lived in London for 6 years when I was a lot younger, and I actually found that I've coped with the cold less since I came back, which was years ago. I mean, 30 years ago. I grew up as a kid in sort of the wilds of Northumberland and didn't have any problem with the cold whatsoever. London being about, I don't know, 6 degrees warmer or whatever it is, and you come home and suddenly you think, oh my God, it's freezing. I don't know how people from climates that are, hot climates come and live here, just
Huh.
from that experience.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you like living in London? I heard a lot of people said they don't really care for London.
Well, I was 19 when I moved down there till 25, and at the time, back when I was there, I loved it. But I'm a massive rock fan, I'm a massive music fan, and it was like Christmas to me. I was going to sort of concerts and gigs 4 or 5 times a week, and I loved it. And obviously, I was young, so I had the energy to do it.
Right.
I don't even know, I have to say, it's rare that I go into London. I couldn't, but I hope the experience that I had 6 years when I was a lot younger living there. Because coming from up in the north of England, it was an experience for somebody who was teenager and early 20s, and wanted to
Excuse me.
wanted to go to gigs and music and
Right.
big city. But by the time I came home, I was ready to come home. I'd had enough. But London to me is like a lot of cities. Is you're probably more comfortable living in a lot of cities if you've got money. Cities can be
Yeah,
hard to
because
live in if you haven't got much money. Whereas,
right,
I,
more everything's
I don't have a
more.
great deal of money, but I'm happy where I am. So,
Actually, I used to have a friend that lived in London. I don't remember what town she lived in, but she said she hated London.
Like as
'Cause I used to tease
um,
her all the time. I said I was gonna come and visit her and say, "Well, and then we'll go have, tea with the queen." And she goes, "Oh, I don't go anywhere near there," she says.
well, it's funny because Jay has just said London traffic is unique now. I drove around London no problem when I lived down there, and I knew it really well. And I knew all the shortcuts, etc. But what I
Right.
didn't realise when I was actually driving, because I was only 19, so I hadn't been driving for that long. What I realised is that London, I don't know if there's cities that do this in the States, but the rules are different on London roads. So there's certain things that are just normal on London roads. Like if you want to move lanes, nobody indicates. You just assume that people are going to wait for you. Are just going to let you in. That sort of thing.
Oh, yeah,
There's
not
all
here.
sorts of yeah, no, not here, not anywhere else. But because I was young, I was 19 and been there for sort of 6 years, and when I came home, I'm suddenly wondering why somebody's sort of frantically beeping at me. I've changed lanes without indicating. I can't remember all the examples, but quite a few examples like that. You just have sort of different rules on the London roads. Um, so I would imagine it would be real if you'd been driving for some time and suddenly you found yourself in London and suddenly the rules of the road are different. But
Yeah, that
I
would be
couldn't do it
scary 'cause
now.
you don't have much time. I mean, how much space is there where, you're gonna make a mistake or you're gonna cause a big issue?
But it's just normal there,
No,
it's
oh,
it's
okay.
I mean it literally is different rules on the road in London. Not officially, you're not supposed to, but it's just kind of place, and you just get used to it. But when you're not in London, you forget that you're not in London anymore. And I know for the first couple of years, I would forget I was not in London anymore, and suddenly thought, well, why are people getting angry with me? And then suddenly realised, no, they don't do that anywhere else.
Okay.
I don't know why it's like that, by the way, but it is. Or it was. Oh.
I pretty much probably each area has their own set of rules.
Yeah, it's the
It's
only
like,
place I've known that's got different. Do you know what the irony
is
is? I
it?
can hear really heavy rain on my window. It never rains here. It is now.
See? Spoke too
Yeah,
soon.
yeah, I missed it.
We just sent it all your way is what it was.
Yeah, thanks for that.
You're welcome, because we had enough of it here. Because that's how it started out yesterday. It was pouring, pouring, and then overnight turned to snow. And I'm thinking, "Oh, you've gotta be kidding." We've had enough of this stuff. And now I think it's supposed to rain tomorrow. So, it'll wash all the snow away and start all over again. But it's
Hang
pretty
on.
much the rule for the area I live in. Because everybody goes, "You're from this area. If you start off wearing a parka in the morning, and then by noon you've got shorts on and flip-flops, and then by dinner time you're wearing a parka again." So, yeah, that's pretty much what it is like here.
Well, actually, I keep about 4 coats in my car for different weathers because when you go out, you're never going to know what's going to happen.
So, oh, yeah,
Hey,
Cassie
Kathy,
says
you
same
home?
there. Yeah, she says same here. I know, okay, because Cassie, you're not too far from where we are. So it's she experiences the same you know, collection of crappy weather. It's from one extreme to the next.
Actually, they're big up for the eclipse, aren't they?
So, oh yeah,
Is it
that's right.
near where
They're
you
doing
are,
the big
Kathy? Yeah.
they're gonna do a big
Apparently,
eclipse thing.
apparently all the hotels are booked up solid, and the number of people that are going to flood into the area.
Well, that's what I'm waiting to see what happens because they're, like I said, oh, you're gonna do you're gonna have an eclipse party. No, but where I'm going, I guess it's gonna be booked up for the eclipse thing. So we'll have to see because usually it's quiet this time of year up there, and I'm
Mm.
thinking, oh great, now we're gonna have a bunch of tourists. Everybody's gonna be out there with their glasses on. You know what I need? I just
Yeah.
need to go around and film all of those people. They would be interesting enough.
Bye, Jay.
Oh, bye, hon.
Yeah, in the
So
total eclipse area.
just
Yeah.
film all those people and say, look at us.
Expecting over 1 million people. God, that would drive me
Oh
mad.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that oh
It's
my god, I
insane.
can't even it
I mean,
is.
how long does an eclipse last? About 10 minutes?
Over 1 million. I can't even imagine. And you guys are gonna be in the middle of all of that?
Yeah.
Jeez. Just Fort Erie. Wow.
Let's hope it's not cloudy. Just over 3 minutes. Oh, God, is it only 3 minutes?
All for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Good luck to all of them. I don't know. I just I enjoy
Watch it
those kinds of
online.
things, but, to be there in person with all of that mess is just too much for me. So,
Oh, I'd
I
hate
don't
it.
even go to the mall. Never mind go to hang out on a field somewhere.
Yeah, that would drive me mad.
Yeah, that is just
Uh,
too crazy. I don't know. I'm looking forward to my interview with, Cassie next week.
oh, you're doing Cassie next week?
So
Oh,
yes,
fabulous.
next week I'm gonna chat with her, pick her brains, and, it's gonna be on location, so hopefully the internet will hold out.
Uh,
So
Fingers crossed.
I'll make it work if I have to. I'll go stand out on the deck with a coat hanger and some tinfoil. We'll get it in there. Could you imagine that? Make one of those those tinfoil helmets. There you go with the rabbit ear antennas on it.
Yeah, just
I
don't
have
wear
to go.
those if there's a thunderstorm, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah, instead of hitting the pine tree, it'll hit my antennae.
Yeah.
That'd be a slight bummer. I thought I had curly hair now. Boy, it'll be really something after that.
Oh,
I just forgot who we were talking to. We made a joke about that. The foil hat. Oh, when I was when I had Kenny Biddle on, and we were talking with Kale, and we were talking about the UFO stuff, I believe it was, and saying about getting the foil hat, and Kenny Biddle has one.
yeah.
He pulled it off of the desk and put it. I'm like, "Are you gotta be kidding?" He actually has one. It was so funny. He should
I
sign him
watched
and
that. Did he put it on? I watched that live. Did he put it on?
yeah, he put it on his head
Yeah, I
quick.
did.
He should sell them. I'm gonna choke to death. That's funny. Jeez. But you know what? People would buy them too.
Yeah, they would.
Kenny Biddle's alien alien hats or guard hats.
Yeah,
Yeah, Michael says foil hat.
put his logo on it.
Yeah. Save
Makes
yourself from
fortune.
those radio waves. Put on the hat. Oh
The aliens
Lord.
can't get into your head then, you see.
Right, right.
You know?
Oh, the
Better
girls,
safe than
with
sorry.
girls with the ponytails, they have a hole in the back so you can pull your hair through.
Oh God, they do that. Yeah. Scrunchy in the back, ponytail
Yeah.
coming out. Foil in different colours, so it
Yeah,
accessorises
different
what
colors or
you wear.
bedazzle
Yeah.
them with the little jewels.
Mm.
You know, spruce it up a little bit.
Yeah, you can have a whole range of foil hats in different colours and designs.
Oh, that would be funny. Well, they would be like well, like with the shape, the different colored masks he's got.
Yeah.
Kenny could have the foil hat. I have to tell him that one. Oh, jeez. Or, if he happens to see this, "See, Kenny, we're making some stuff for you to sell."
Yeah, don't say we're not helping.
Right. Take the idea and run with it.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Design consultants right here.
Yeah. Oh, boy. And the really funny is the people would buy them.
I know, that's a scary thing though, isn't it?
That's the scary part.
You know, if you had the right front person, you could have a paranormal influencer. This is what the best ghost hunters are wearing this year.
Yeah. Well, Kenny said it works.
Oh, it
Oh,
must be true.
ay, ay, ay. This
Yeah,
was
but
what
Kenny's
is it?
like me, he's a nerd, he'll buy anything.
Yeah. Well, I think he made this one. Excuse me. Looks like that one guy there is selling dirt from his farm.
Oh, CJ Faison, yeah.
Oh, you got me. What's his
No, no,
man?
no. Haunted dirt. Get it right.
Oh, forgive me. Forgive me. I misspoke.
Haunted dirt.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I think it was Beardo that was threatening to sell his bathwater.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
I think
That
Crow wants his own brand of mayonnaise.
you just said yeah, F and CJ. I and I really wanna know how many people bought that stuff.
Well, I think he's had to reduce it, so I don't think that many.
Oh, okay, because I just say, I'd contact them and just laugh.
Because somebody said
Be
it'd
like,
come down in price.
oh, jeez.
Oh, it takes
Oh,
some nerve though to do that though, doesn't it?
nerve or insanity? I don't know.
Both.
Maybe a little of both. Well, nowadays, they know it. People, you tell them something, and they believe it right away. It's
Speaking of
that's why
that,
I like to do the what I'm doing because at least I put people on here that can educate me and everybody else. And then if some bozo comes along and happens to pop in and get some kind of information going here.
well, Jeff's watching Twin Paranormal, so he'll be no help.
Oh, jeez.
Why do you do that to yourself?
I
See,
cannot.
this is also why I'm not a debunker, to be honest.
Me too, because I
It's
cannot
like,
these people.
yeah, I mean, I did one on CJ Faison and it was agony. It's I'll do the odd one if there's something I want to say about it, but yeah, no, Mike, neither did I, and it was nothing to do, and that happens to me sometimes with debunkers. Sometimes depends on who
Yeah,
they're debunking. Um, it's it's happened to me before. I know sometimes Seg's the one that I don't know how he does it. I think I've said that in the vlog. I don't know how he puts himself through it because there's two or three of Seg's that. And I love watching Side Eye Guy's videos, but there's two or three I've had to turn off, not because of Seg, but because of who he's actually reacting to. I was like, I can't take it anymore,
yeah.
you know?
I've even asked,
And
side eye guy said in a comment I put, "How could you watch these guys without your brain wanting to explode?"
yeah.
He goes, "Oh, it did." I said, "It's painful. I can't do it." So I got to give these guys credit. There's no way I could sit through hours of that foolishness.
well, I always say that we need debunkers because they can watch stuff, and that way we don't have to. We can just watch
Right.
the edited down version.
Right. Because yeah, I'll
That
get into
they
a
do.
couple of minutes and I'm thinking, "Oh, I'm not watching this."
Oh, do you know, it's no, I can't do it. I really can't do it. So I mean, the reason I did the CJ Faison one is I'd watched a little bit of it, and I just found it so hilarious. I thought, well, I'll do a reaction to it, and I think me and Jeff did the same one actually, and yeah, the bit that had caught my eye, I enjoyed reacting to, but then the rest I mean, the video was 50 minutes long, and I
Uh,
only got 20 minutes out of it because it was just so and then my first troll complained at me for stretching content, and I'm thinking, I could barely get 20 minutes out of a 45-minute CJ Faison video, and I'm stretching content.
right.
Oh, it was just but I just wanted to rip my hair out by the time I'd finished it. So no, I couldn't do it all the time. I really could not be a debunker full time.
No, I couldn't either. And like I said, they're talking about the Mackie and Amanda. I can't even watch that.
Well, actually, Mackie and Amanda, I've watched one of the Mackie and Amanda ones that Seg's done, but I think there was one that I had to switch off. I just couldn't take it anymore. Um, so yeah, Jeff, when CJ beat Annabelle, yeah, hit the doll. It's- and it's you just sort of bang your head thinking people are watching this and believing it.
Yeah, and they're sucking it right up. Oh,
It's
they're
just
real.
it's you know it's insane.
Oh, jeez. I mean, I watched a couple of them, like Omar. Omar is fake as they can get,
Yeah,
but he's entertaining, so he makes me laugh. But when he gets on there with that other guy there, the fam,
yeah,
what's his name, James or something.
James, yeah,
That's too much. That's
yeah.
they have to take acting classes or something because it is just bad,
Oh, it's just torture.
painfully bad.
Um, and it's just cringy. It's because when I was on last week with you and Jeff, and we're talking about oh God, the name's gone out of my head. The Washoe Club, and everybody sort of screaming and etc. and saying how bad it is, and then I just found it so funny. Karen walking around on her own singing. It's like
Exactly, exactly.
and yeah, it's just so chaotic, all this stuff. You just think, no. But people are I kind of get I mean, I don't like it, but I kind of get why people like Sam and Colby are popular, and even the twins, and I kind of get the sort of young audience really wanting to watch them regardless of what they're putting. I mean, Sam and
Right.
Colby could run any type of channel. They don't even have to do paranormal. Um, but it has to be a mainly young audience because in the end you just want to, like you say, tear your hair out because you just can't cope with the chaos of it anymore.
Well, yeah, that's just a plain foolishness. I mean, that's what it is. It's a younger audience, so they don't know any better, and they're entertained by the behavior.
Yeah,
So that's why they get what they get. And people are like, oh yeah, yeah, and again, like you said, if you say anything, the debunkers say anything, then they of course are going to take offense and then come after them for saying, well, you don't know what you're talking about. Um, so that's part of this the drama thing that's going on anyway,
yeah,
because it's the people just get sucked in because they're not educated on what the real deal is. Um, and it's really sad because I hate it when you see people they're giving their money away and thinking that they're going to get help with whatever they're looking for,
yeah,
and that's what it's turned into.
yeah,
Um, I forgot who I was watching earlier about. He says he's got all kinds of data and recorded stuff, but he says he won't put it on YouTube.
mm,
He says because I don't want to be involved in any of that. He says so, and I can understand that, because
yeah,
he takes it very seriously, and he probably figures that it's going to be tarnished if he puts it out. Um, so it's and like I said, I only I started doing this because it was something that I could enjoy, and of course, again, learn from more experienced people, and then maybe even I could help educate people that have just started, just to get the word out there, and there's an importance for debunkers. And it pretty much it is. They're the paranormal police.
yeah. But my argument with it is there's no point in people are never going to change the Salmon Colbys and the Omar Gosh and the
Right,
Twin Paranormal. They're too big. So for me, the it's more important to target the channels just starting out. Not target, I don't mean target them as being nasty to them, but help out the channels that are just starting out. I mean, I'm editing the Conjuring House stuff at the minute, and the way that you can see it in the footage. I mean, I haven't even seen the investigation. Well, I've seen Dawson's and Nightmare Nations, and you can just see the way sort of Joe's taking them under the wing and sort of helping them out. And
right,
I mean, how that whole thing started was that Seg had a go at Dawson, and he had to go back, and then they ended up making friends.
right,
Um, and honestly, editing the footage for that I'm doing at the minute, it's just a delight to see everybody working together. And it's not a PR exercise. They're not pretending to do it. They're clearly, genuinely getting on. You
right.
know, so maybe helping out the channels that are just getting themselves going, and rather, you're never going to stop the big boys because
Oh,
there's too
no.
much money in it.
Yeah, and that's what they're in it for. They're in it for the money, and, more power to them.
Yeah,
But I think it's great that our community we're trying to educate and get the truth out there, so as long as we just keep doing what we're doing, then, like you said, the new people coming in, then they can decide, "Do I really wanna do this because I wanna know truth, or do I wanna, just go for the dollar signs?"
yeah.
And then they can make up their own decisions, because I've got a lot of people have asked me all kinds of questions, from, like, Facebook and all of that, and because they didn't understand, things that they've experienced or what's going on, and, I try to help them out the best I can, and then I recommend, "Well, go see this person or that person," or,
Mm,
and, then you'll see how people, like always, "Oh, go see Joe. Joe Vitale, he goes into detail." I
mm,
said from start to finish. So, you could see how the process is and all of that. Same thing with Cassie. You go in there, I love her investigation style. And again, there it is. It's right in your face. All of it's in your face. And any question you have, she can answer, to the
yeah.
best of her ability. Um,
Well, both Joe and Cassie, each in their own way, are completely transparent when they're doing an investigation.
right,
There's nothing's being hidden. So anybody who watches either of them, if somebody just wants to go out in investigations, they're two excellent channels to watch just to see how it's done and just for sort of taking notes as to the way it should be done.
right,
Um, Rather than, like I say, these channels that do the fast edits and the high contrast where you can't see anything, and all the hoops and whistles. You can't unpick that if you've never been out filming before or done an investigation before.
right.
But if you watch Joe and you watch Cassie, you can see how it's supposed to be done, you know?
Yep.
So yeah, I mean the second Dawson thing is just it's delightful.
Well, it's
It's
nice when people
delightful.
finally can, understand each other.
Yeah. And kudos to Dawson for taking it all on board. And yeah, and as Cassie says, I mean, I say that about anything. Anybody who thinks they know everything about everything isn't trying. Cassie's just said, I'm always learning too.
Exactly. We all
Um,
are.
and I mean, I'm the same with what I do. I mean, when I don't pretend that I know everything about editing or art or anything like that. I'm always looking for new things and new techniques and to sort of
Oh,
grow.
yeah.
And that's the other thing about the big channels is, they never change. They never do anything different. And I know why they don't, because they've got the branding, but that would drive me mad. I mean,
Yeah.
I could grow as a channel a lot quicker if I did more debunking, and if I know the exact route I could go down to actually make my channel grow a lot quicker, but I don't want to do that. I would be miserable doing that.
Right.
You all know, and all the channels in here know how, oh God, I've got to do editing, and even if you enjoy it, it can be a chore. I couldn't
Sure.
be doing stuff I don't want to actually produce.
All right.
I
Yeah,
don't
this
have the
is
time or the
I'm saying
effort. To,
I dread it. That's what I'm saying. I dread it. But yeah, this is like Jeff says, nothing that you did when you were first starting out is what you're doing now because you've
No.
learned so much. Like I said, most of us, old timers all started out with just like a regular camera and a cassette recorder if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And so now they have all of these gadgets and gizmos and this thing. Do you trust using those? That's I've always questioned that. I do
Yeah.
play around with some of it, but it's all just an experiment as far as I'm concerned,
Well, I was on a live with Josh Paris, Paranormal Seekers, yesterday,
right?
and well, he was on it occasionally. His signal kept dropping, but he was saying that when he first started investigating, he said sometimes he would even have to do 2 trips to the location from the house or the equipment he took, and he says he takes very, very little now, just from experience of actually doing the investigations. He said he wonders why he took everything that he did. Um, so somebody who's and actually Josh is a really good example of somebody who, every time he releases something, he's doing something different, not just an investigator, but the way he's running his channel and the way he's developing his graphics, etc. That's somebody who's interested in actually moving forward, and I know he's got other plans as well. And it's anybody who's happy to churn out the same content time and time again. I mean, people can, for years people said how good Mind Seeds production was. And yeah, when you first see Mind Seeds production, it is very good. But as somebody who can see how they're doing it, I'm not talking about faking or anything like that. I'm talking about literally the video editing and the filming. It's the same process every time. And if you're doing the same process every time, that's lazy. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to
Right.
take them half the time now to put those episodes together than it used to. Because I mean, I do it with some of the stuff I sell for tourists artwork wise. Is there's some stuff that I can do in 5 minutes because I've done it time and time again. Um, you do speed up, so they never change. I don't know how, it would be mind numbing for me to continually put out the same effectively put out the same content all the time.
Right. Now, yeah, you've got to change it up. It's just like, here, like what I'm doing, I use a lot of it's, paranormal, but then again, I'll do, some UFO series pieces and, because they coincide with each other and, just, you got to change it up because people have different interests. Um, and if you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, that's when you stop watching
Yeah,
and stop paying attention. Because there's a few other channels that I've watched that wasn't paranormal. It was other things. And I'm thinking, this is like the same thing every week.
yeah, exactly.
The same exact thing. Okay, I've already heard it all. I'm going to see what else is on.
Yeah,
So, if it doesn't hold your interest and if you can't add something new to it, it's, yeah, you're just, people are going to lose the interest. And I rather, I want to be able to continue forward, have everybody keep learning, um, keep finding out information. Even if it's like, okay, oh, they went on another investigation, but it's a different place, so you're going to get different results, and they might have done something different that time to get that result. And again, in editing, they might have edited something differently, so it's
yeah.
a continual, learning process.
I just asked Cassie, have you got an episode out tonight? I missed.
Tonight I'm doing. Let's see what she says. Yeah, tonight it was during an S. Oh, we missed somebody's question. Because aren't you going on? You're going out tonight, right, Cassie? I think 10 o'clock. Yep, 10
All
o'clock.
right. I've probably got a notification on. I'd forgotten.
Yeah,
I usually
I
hit.
wasn't getting up for a little while. I'm thinking, what the heck is going on? Um,
Um.
and then I found out for some reason, I mean, my phone reset itself or something, but it shut off all of my notifications, so I wasn't getting messages.
Actually, I've
So that,
probably forgotten because Cassie. I'll get a notification. Cassie tends to put her notifications out sort of quite a way in advance. So
yes, because I think I seen that earlier. Yeah, it was like
yeah,
this morning or yesterday or something. I think I seen it.
yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, so I have to get in there and run my yap before she goes on at 10.
She waits till 10 to make sure Crow is awake.
Oh, I don't know. He might not be. He might
Ah,
be.
it's hit and miss.
He might be in a hot dog coma. He does
You
too
can't
much
get it.
all at once. He needs to pace himself.
Yeah, good luck.
I know. Just a hot mess. He just it's all to get it done, get it done, get it done. And like, what was it? The one live he did was all night long.
Well, the 6 hours, yeah,
Yeah, I'm
that
thinking, oh,
was
how did he do that?
because I was on it for nearly half of it.
Yeah,
Because
I watched some of it.
I woke up and he'd already been on for 2 hours, which is normally the time his live streams are, maybe a little bit more. And I thought, oh, I've missed most of it. And then I get a notification to join him, and I'm sort of looking at the time, and I thought he's gone 6 hours by the time we finished. I mean, the last couple of hours was just me and Crow, but it was yeah, it was just under 6 hours. That's what I'm actually covering because obviously it covered a lot of the Conjuring House stuff
Right.
in the next video. But yeah, it was 5 hours 51 minutes if you want the exact time.
Jeez. Because I remember I woke up, it was like 6 in the morning. And I'm thinking, he is on already? And then I seen, wait a minute, he's been on since last night. No wonder why the guy can't stay awake.
Well, as far as I can tell, he's usually up through the night. He's certainly up through
Yeah.
my night because if I get messages, it tends to be at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
So it's yeah,
So,
he's a vampire.
mind you, I'm pretty much the same. So, but that's normally because I watch so many of the American live streams. I'm usually up in the middle of the night and sleep
Oh,
during the
geez.
day.
I try. I try my best. I really do, guys. I try my best. Like last night I was watching Doof Doof,
Yeah.
and her voice is so soothing. And here I am laying in bed watching this, and I'm drifting off to sleep. And I told her she should start reading bedtime stories. Because you're knocking me out. I forced myself to stay awake till the end. But yeah, I try my best. I think I've just turned into an old lady. That's all.
No, I don't lie down if I'm listening because I'm instantly asleep.
Oh, that's what she was doing to me. And I figured, well, it was a full day yesterday, so I just want to relax here, watch this. And yeah, I just started catching myself, my head's bobbing. And of course, we were teasing her, and I'm thinking, you're putting me to sleep here. It's not in a bad way, but it's. And so it was like, she's telling us a bedtime story. We're slowly drifting off.
Oh, Cassie fell asleep during that live.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Yeah, I fell asleep on the couch. Okay, so now I don't feel bad. You just said the same thing. He thought it. She was so soothing. You're just laying there like, yeah. And it was fantastically done. Great story. Loved it. But yeah, I was just like, kept shaking my head. No, you gotta stay awake. I wanted to hear how it
Well,
ended.
nobody expects a 6 hour live stream, does they?
So I couldn't do it. I just
Actually, because from about sort of 3.5 hours, Crow kept saying, "Okay, I'm going to end this soon."
yeah, yeah, he says that all the time.
Yeah. 2.5 hours
Yeah,
later.
and then he gets going on something else, and
So,
jeez. Well, all I can say is God bless him because there's no way I could do 6 hours. Oh boy, when I was used to do stuff on Facebook, and I would do lives on there and sell my jewelry, and I had one lady. It's like, you should do a 24-hour jewelry show. I go, what are you crazy?
oh
This
God,
is
no.
not 24 hours. No way. I said, you're lucky you guys get the hour you get. You either buy it or you don't.
Bad idea, Jeff.
What did he put? Let's see. This one here.
Yeah.
We should pick a charity and stream and add the buy our pledge. Oh yeah, that'd be really cool.
It's enough channels to take part.
So no, that would be a great idea.
Yeah.
Pick something and everybody get involved.
Yeah.
See, that's the nice thing. See, we all get a bad rap, and
Oh yeah, because we're so toxic.
yeah, I know we're awful. We're just terrible, terrible people. It's like I said, like last there we were talking with Jeff and you, and and then we got to talk afterwards. That's how you get to know everybody,
Yeah.
and it just makes things just so much better when you actually get to know everybody. And
Well, so that's my vlog earlier in the week was about I wouldn't still be doing the channel if I didn't have the support and I wasn't speaking to people.
yeah,
I don't know how
exactly.
people do a YouTube channel on their own. You
Well,
know, people that you can't just, even if it's just to natter about what's going on, or if you get a troll, and it's like when I got the first. I mean, I was delighted I got a troll. I will have to admit, because I'm weird like that. I was so proud.
so I haven't
But
got one yet.
I've only had the one. It was like the CJ Faison video. But I remember talking to Josh Parrish about it, and he says, "I'll just do what I do." He said, "Blow them a kiss and thank them for the view."
That's
It was,
all.
and
Thank
it's
you.
like,
Made my
yeah,
day.
yeah, that's good advice.
Yeah, that's how you gotta do it. You just gotta roll with it. Like I
Yeah, I
said,
think
there
that'd
has
be a
been
good idea, Jeff. The mental health charity. Yeah.
yeah. We'll have to spread the word and see what people want to say about it. Do a video on paranormal nightmares.
All right,
We'll get.
Jeff's going to advise which channels to do to get the trolls.
I
Thanks,
haven't.
Jeff.
I haven't had one yet. I'm too little to have one yet. Nobody knows I'm out there. But when I get one, I'm gonna have a good time with it. Nothing like flipping the record on those people and throwing it back at them.
I can't do one on paranormal nightmares. I'm still sad that they've let me down, because I actually really liked them. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
my highest view. That's what I mean about knowing how I could actually grow my channel quicker. Because my highest views were the CJ Faison one. But I'm just not doing it. I'll do it my way.
He says they hate me. You make their day.
Oh, such a bad person, Jeff.
Shit.
How dare you ever go at actually, do you know what? Because I was a big Paranormal Nightmares fan. It was the only channel that really bothered me that it all went pear-shaped. Um and I'm not saying it because he's in the chat. Jeff's was the best one that I saw on Paranormal Nightmare. So well explained in terms of dealing with somebody with mental health. Yeah, you're tougher than me, Mike. I
Yeah,
left the
he says I
Foreman
left.
Brothers a few years ago, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, this I was surprised about that one too.
It's not so much that I was surprised, I just liked them, because I do go a lot by personality, and I just enjoyed watching them.
Oh yeah.
Um, which is why that's the only one that's really bothered me. I knew it was coming sooner or later,
Ugh. See,
you
that's the thing
know.
you dread. You get hooked on somebody, and then you're just wait, please don't let something go bad,
Yeah,
because
and
then you'll be so disappointed.
I know. So, that's the only one for me. But imagine these people who really have invested into these channels and
Yeah,
been real true fans, and suddenly they don't want to accept that they're fake.
right. Well, yeah, either they don't accept it, or then they finally realize it, and then the betrayal is just
Betrayal.
horrendous
Yeah, I
for
mean,
them.
I know Beardo talks a lot about people who've gone over to him because they've realised that he's right.
Yeah,
After moaning at him, it's like they've realised he's right about things.
When a lot of people
Um,
say he's rough, I don't think so. I think
no,
he's honest, and
no.
people don't like the truth, and it's too bad.
That's why I've supported him so long. So, because you'll just tell it like it is,
Yeah, I love it.
and that's what you need. You need at least one person who's gonna not be afraid to call people out.
Exactly, and, because the other ones will, "Oh, well, maybe I was wrong," or they stop doing it because, they're hurting somebody's feelings, and, like I said, no matter what you put out on here, there's gonna be somebody that's gonna bash it.
Mm.
So, put your big boy pants on and deal with it,
You
or
put
don't put
anything
the
on
garbage
YouTube.
out there.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you put on YouTube, though, does it? You're gonna get bashed.
Exactly. I said that to somebody, or I don't know, maybe it might have been Jeff. I was talking with Jeff, and I was saying how, people do this and they'll do that, and I'm thinking, not for nothing, those people don't make your world go round.
Yeah,
So if they don't like it, don't watch it. That's the way I've always been. If when people ask for advice, this is what you want the truth, or do you want me to lie to you? I says because I don't lie to anybody, so you're probably not going to like what I got to say.
yeah,
And I'd rather have it that way than candy coat it.
yeah,
And I pretty much because that's I was brought up. My father never candy coated anything. It was right out there, because the lies just only hurt people in the long run.
yeah,
So just, give it to them straight first time around, and that it is what it is. Let's see if Jeff says he's not rough. The world's just full of baby. That's right.
yeah,
You're right.
yeah. See, the thing with Beardo is, although he's in almost the other end of the country to me, he's in South Wales, and I'm up in the north of England. But I do have family in South Wales, and not that far from where Beardo is, and I can't. So I do know the area really well, and and the way of thinking down there is actually very similar to the way of thinking here. So I've always kind of got where he's coming from in the way he puts things over. Do you know what I mean? Because I also live in an area where you just tell it like it is. You don't do it to be nasty. You're just honest. And
Right.
I'm living in an area where most people wouldn't dream of being two-faced. If you've got something to say, you say it. If you don't think you should say it, you don't say it. But you certainly don't. You certainly don't sort of bullshit anybody. You don't talk behind
Right.
people's backs. You just and South Wales is very similar. So I think with Beardo, I kind of got it straight away because I do know that that area is very similar to mine, if that makes sense in the way people view things. Um,
Right. There, it's
so
just very
I've
straightforward. No
yeah,
nonsense.
yeah, no time for games or anything like that. You just deal
Right.
with it. And the other thing is that Beardo does is if he is wrong, he'll say so, and I'm the same. I'm not afraid of saying I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that, or I'm sorry, I was wrong. And yeah, I know so many people that they could argue with you that the sky's pink, and you're not going to change their mind because they've already said it. They're not going to back off. They're not going to say, "Oh no, you're right, it's blue." Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the way he is. Yeah, I'm in the north. I'm in the bit of England that used to be Scotland till it was stolen.
Oh no.
Yeah, actually, we are Northumberland. The county I live in was Scotland originally. I
Right.
mean, a long
Yeah.
time ago. But yeah, we are actually parallel with Scotland. If on the west of us is actually Scotland. That's
Oh,
how far
nice.
north we are. Yeah.
Another place I'd like to see someday, but that'll never happen. But
There's a lot of places I'd like to see, but I don't like flying. So
yeah, that's the same thing. I said that before. You can't get me on a plane, but
you
even
can
though
get me on a plane, but I have
Wendy's
to
trying to
really
get me on
want
the
to go.
plane.
I mean, we're planning an American trip in a couple of years, and I'm already, as soon as we made arrangements, gut wrenching. I will get on a plane if I really want to get to the other end, but I won't get in a plane for the sake of it. It's very rare I do.
Yeah, no, I can't bring myself to do it. Not yet, anyway. And yeah, my husband won't do it either because him and electronics don't mix.
Yeah,
And then there's no joke. If he touches something that's electronic, it's broken. So he says, "Can you imagine him getting on a plane?"
Well,
He goes, "It's
it's
gonna go down."
yeah,
You're
yeah.
right.
Don't put him on the same plane as me.
He said, I said, "Yeah, you're right. So no, you're not gonna get on the plane."
Yeah, I don't know if it can do. It's either next year, probably more likely the year after. One of my best friends and I went to. I was doing a conference in Albuquerque, so quite a while ago now, and we had a holiday in the summer, and she was saying we should do that again. We should go over to American. And I've been to the States quite a few times, but there are places I really want to see that I've never seen. So I'm putting an itinerary together at the moment. And
Nice.
we're going to do it properly because, just if we're going to do it, we're going to do it properly. So, uh, and I'm really excited about it. Just the plane bit.
Well, that is exciting. What do you
Yeah.
plan on coming to see?
Well, I mean, I've been to sort of Texas and New Mexico, but there's quite a bit of the South I haven't seen. I haven't. I mean, I've only started sort of putting it together, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to fly into Las Vegas, because there are some, these tours where you go to different places. I am not doing that for the whole holiday because they drive me mad. But I've found a really good company, American company, that picks up and drops off in Las Vegas, and they do one that they do the one I really want to see is Monument Valley, but they do some of the canyons and Grand Canyon, etc. It's about a 3 or 4 day trip.
Nice.
So we're going to come over for 2 weeks though. So it's funny. We were talking about earlier about Cassie being in sort of the eclipse zone for 1 million people because I keep looking at where would I like to go, and I'll pick names and I'll look at a YouTube video and think no too many people because we can't spend any more than a couple of days in Las Vegas. I've never been, but I want to see Las Vegas, but it will drive us both mad. So
Very
I haven't
loud.
decided about. Yeah, I mean, yeah, crowds, no.
Very
Um,
loud.
but that's where the pick-up and drop-off point is, and Las Vegas is easy to fly to from here. And actually, Maiko was telling me that I've also had to be down at in London to the airport in sort of early hours in the morning, and it's a real pain from where we are. But he was saying that you can get night flights, which is easier traveling for us. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Just picking and choosing where we're going at the moment.
Exciting.
Yeah, but like I say, I mean, I have been there several times, but it would just be nice to hit those places that I've always wanted to go to that I hadn't actually got round to. So,
Well, yeah, that would be great because, 'cause who knows when you'll do it again. So you might as well.
well, especially with my hatred of flying, it might be that I don't actually do it again. So, I kind of
Right.
want to make sure that the key bucket list places are met.
Right. And
So
tick them off as you go.
yeah.
Because who knows if you're going to do it again.
uh,
Yeah, I just can't get the nerve up to. And the thing is, it's funny because I was always the kid that, when you go to like the carnivals and the fairs and they have those wild, crazy rides and roller
I
coasters.
know,
I was first in line.
no,
But you'd think I'd be the first in line to go on a plane. I just can't bring myself to do it. So I
no,
miss
I
out
don't
on a
like.
lot because there's a lot of places I can't go that I would love to go. Just like I said, I'd like to travel through, the UK and then Scotland and Ireland, and it's just beautiful, beautiful, and the history itself is what I'm attracted to. So I just have to live vicariously through you guys.
See, the place I would actually adore to go is New Zealand. I would love to go and see New Zealand, but there's just no way. There's no way I
But
can spend a
yeah,
day on a plane.
that's what it does you in. It does.
Hey, Glenda.
And like I said, Wendy, Wendy. She's always said, "Oh, I'm gonna get you on a plane." No, you're
No,
not.
no, no.
Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna say, no, you're not. I mean, I have family in Arizona that want me to visit, and that's a short flight, and I won't go there either. which I would love to because there's a lot of places to, investigate out there.
Yeah,
And I would love to get my hands, and get out there, but I think we'd have to drive, and it's just such a long ride.
yeah,
From where I am, 20 something hours if you're driving. And my husband likes to drive straight through, so it would be a shorter amount of time. But the thing is, the older we get, the harder it is to drive straight through because you
yeah,
fall asleep. So I says, well, I just tell everybody now, we're old now. You have to come visit us. So
yeah.
yeah, nice.
I
Go
actually
ahead.
candy heard as New Zealand is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I actually spent time looking at it's the South Island I want to go to. It's just absolutely stunning. It'll never happen, but it's stunning.
Everybody goes, oh, have you ever been here or there? I go, no, I've seen it on TV. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
If
it's
you
what
go,
the
oh, you
internet's
take a
for.
cruise. No, I'm not taking a cruise.
Now you see, I'd looked at cruises at one point, but I'd looked at cruises in terms of you can go to different locations. But then when I saw you've got to spend, 2 days at sea, and I thought I don't want 2 days at sea. I want to be in different locations all the time. Can't think of anything worse than being stuck on a cruise ship for 2 or 3 days. So yeah, I gave up that idea.
Yeah, not attracted to that. All I think of is like, the Poseidon or Titanic. So
Actually,
stay
sailing doesn't bother me.
stay away from that. No, I don't want nothing to do with that either. If I'm going, I'm gonna be on the ground where, at least I got a chance to get away. Yeah, so that's what we always drive wherever we go. It just yeah, like Cassie says, yeah, they love the road trips. And it is nice, especially if you get like a camper or something and you pull off somewhere in a rest stop, you could rest for a while.
Yeah.
Um and then you could just continue on when you're ready. You say Glennis says, I love a day on a sailboat. Oh, I love the water. I love boating. But that's mostly like rivers or lakes. When it comes to the ocean, that's a whole different bird. And all I could think of is, yeah, it's not good for me. A southern ocean cruise would be amazing. I see it. And that's what the fear. It's the fear. I think once I got on there and had no choice, then I would love it. But just like, and even having the opportunity to see like, whales and all of that.
Yeah.
That just is amazing. And we did see that once. We were by the ocean at one time, but we were on land and we saw it from land.
Mm.
But to see it like right up to next to the ship would be awesome.
Yeah.
And like when we go to St. Lawrence River and you see all the big ships come through the
Mm.
channel, and that is amazing just to see them. So
Oh, some of them are
you'd be
huge.
oh, it blows your mind. It's something that big can float on water. Yeah, they're huge. And you get up next to them, you are nothing. You're like a speck compared to them.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. So we like to go down, we'll go to the St. Lawrence and sit and watch the ships come through. Well, Mike says, I've learned to fish in 6 to 10 foot sections, not worried about weather.
No, you see, I'm not frightened of sailing, but yeah, seasickness.
You see, that's
You have
another
to be
thing. I've
calm.
never really been on the ocean in a craft, so I don't know if I get seasick.
Oh, I do.
Like I said, I've been on the rivers, I've been on lakes, but that's a different animal. Doesn't have the same motion.
Mm.
So yeah, so if I get on a cruise ship, then I'll be hanging over the rail for the whole trip. That'd be a bummer. Spend all that money and you're just hanging over the
I was
side.
going to say it would be cheap.
Missing out on all that good stuff, and you're like, nope, sick, sorry. Actually, I think it probably would because I found out that my grandmother used to get seasickness because when they come over uh, from Poland, My father says, remember that she was sick the whole time on the ship. So that I
Mm.
probably would be sick too. Yeah, Mike says, yeah, lakes are very different. Definitely. Yeah, that's it's yeah, total different creature. The river, you've got the fast moving water. We've been through like, rapids and all of that, but the ocean is just way, way different.
Yeah, I'm the same. Can't get motion sickness. I have vertigo, so it's very easy for me to get motion sickness.
Oh dear. Yeah, see, and I've never experienced it, so I don't know.
The irony is, the one mode of transport I don't get motion sickness on is a plane, and I'm just terrified of that.
Isn't that funny? I don't think I would get sick on a plane. Because like I said, I was always the one that was jumping on the roller coaster first. I go upside down, spin around, not a problem. So I don't think I'd have a problem with the takeoff or the landing. Um, as far as being sick goes, it's just the point of getting me on there. Cassie, Laura, you're Polish. Well, you guess. What do you think I am? Yes, I'm half Polish. My father and grandparents are from Warsaw, Poland. Joe just went. Oh, okay. Joe went live. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
it's just had a notification.
The other half of me is Lebanese, so I'm part of the desert. Well, everybody's probably going to start popping off. They want to go catch Joe.
Well, he's called it the aftermath, so he's clickbaiting.
Uh-oh. So we probably should, end this and go find out what he's up to.
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody for coming in. Thanks for hanging out. I know it was all just a bit of silliness, but I thought I had a good time. I hope you guys all had a good time. I hope you did too, Sarah. It was
I
great
did.
having you
Thank
on.
you for having me on.
I enjoy having you on every time. And oh, she says her brother-in-law is Lebanese. That's right, Lebanese. All right. So let's all run over and yeah, let's go let's see what Jeff said boycott Joe. Okay. If you want, okay.
I'm gonna go over there. Jeff said.
And then Jeff told us we couldn't be here. Okay, gang. Everybody have a great night. Let's go over and invade Joe. And I'll see you over there. And I'll see you next week, Miss Cassie. Thanks again, Sarah.
No
And
problem.
hopefully everybody had a great time. And we'll do this again soon.
Excellent. Bye, guys.
Bye.